Okay, so how can you change what you have formed in your attitude? It's like a magnet. Whenever you notice this thing, yeah, she's becoming more like her mother, or whatever you're starting to conclude. Now everything starts fitting in, see? Now you start drawing conclusions about that person, and your heart starts hardening, see? Well, the easiest way to change this is to actually go back to when you first met the person and start listening differently. And to help you with that is a typology that I've developed. It's really a listening typology, and it's really helped our marriage. It's called painters and pointers. So I need someone here who's a painter to try to explain what that is like.
When I talk, I don't know exactly what I'm going to say. I do think, Dave doesn't think I think, but I think out here. And I do verbalize it, either in my head or out here. And one thing might lead to another thing, which might lead to another thing, which, what's wrong with that?
Well, there's nothing wrong with that, except it annoys me. If I would try to describe what Kathy's consciousness looks like, it's like all sorts of things are going on there, and when she talks, she's just sort of painting a picture about all this stuff that's going inside.
And you need to let me continue until I know what I'm thinking. I don't need you to tell me what I'm thinking. Let me process.
I still don't understand this. When she opens her mouth, she doesn't know what she's going to say. Because she has to process out loud. And so she's an incredible gift to our relationship because she will always start the conversations. She always need to process something, and so at any given point, she'll start 95% of the conversation, which is the way God intended. I look at that and get totally confused. I can maybe follow one little ball right here. Okay, I can make sense out of that little thing, but the whole picture. And Kathy loves this. Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's really interesting.
And if we're not allowed to process, we don't forget.
That's right. Okay, now there's nothing wrong with painters, the way they communicate. There's all sorts of detail and everything else. And if I ask Kathy what happened today, she'll just immediately start out painting a picture of what's going on today. The trouble is she married me. And about 85% of the couples I work with, these two have become attracted to each other. And it's not a male-female thing. About 25% of painters are male. And 25% of females are pointers. And painter males and pointer females usually attract each other. And vice versa. Okay, what am I like? Well, I happen to be a pointer. Which means that long before I say anything, I have thought it through, and the very first words out of my mouth will be a point. And so look what happens automatically. Kathy opens her mouth, and immediately I say, oh, that's the point. And she says something else. Oh, that's the point. Well, get to the point. Where's the point, you know? My little pointy brain is looking for points because I don't know if you're ready for this, but the incredible, amazing brain of the pointer can take thousands of bits of information and collect them right into a single point. Are you ready for that? This is the incredible brain of a pointer. You told me to go to the store and get that. Why would I think of anything else? I called this person to say this. Why would I think about asking about her grandmother? You see? Pointers get to the point, stick to the point, yet they're always attracted to painters, and that's where the fun comes. No, it is totally counterintuitive for me when you say the very first sentence to automatically assume that you don't know what you're talking about. Painters, if you correct them, fine, they'll just go on. Pointers are never wrong, you notice that? And there's a reason for that. We just figured this one out. Look at all the detail of the painter. If I tell Kathy, hey, wait a minute, this detail is wrong, she'll say, oh, okay, fine. Because she can correct that little detail, it's no big deal. If Kathy says my point is wrong, that means 1,000 details are wrong. And so a pointer can never be wrong because then everything's wrong, see? So cut us some slack, okay? Okay, back to painters. They have to talk to process. And not only that, as they process, then they begin to understand what it is that they're thinking. And so if you are a pointer How many in here sort of think you're a pointer like me? Okay, it's about 25% of females are pointers in here. Okay, now, if you take your favorite paint, see, let me find, which one of you are a painter? Okay, he's a painter. Okay, you're the pointer. Okay, do this to him. He's opened his mouth, and you're going, hey, no big deal. Don't make it, okay, that's pretty natural. That feels good, doesn't it? Okay. Okay, a pointer is never wrong if you just turn your hands this way now and say, paint me the whole picture. Come on, do it. Oh, that feels better. Now, why don't you do this? Why don't you immediately say, oh, paint me the whole picture? You don't have as much time, do you? What? Yeah. Uh-huh. And so trying to get the person to paint the whole picture is very unnatural. And that's where the communication stops. Because Kathy, when she says the first thing, I think it's the point, so I either have to correct it, I either have to solve it, as pointers do, or I have to say no big deal, or I just walk away. Since she said it very definitely, I think she's made up her mind already.
Oh, by the way, these painters have use of words.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Painters have a license to use words in any way they want.
Like always.
Yeah, these are emotional words. They're not logic. Words are not logical entities, so they have a license to use words in any way they want. And so no matter, she'll say, well, you always do this, and I as a pointer go, no, wait a minute, 3 days ago I didn't.
And also, we have to use those words to wake you up.
That's right. The very first sentence of the painter is a throwaway sentence. Just to say, hey, there's something here that I need to paint. I don't know what yet. So if you're a pointer, the best thing you can do is to say, hey, you don't know what you're saying yet. I certainly don't. So paint me the picture. Paint me the picture so we both know. Okay, pointers, you're never wrong. You're never wrong no matter what the circumstance, just to go like this and say, hey, paint me the picture. And mean it. Okay, now what about you pointers? When you talk, painters frustrate you. I know it. How many of you painters feel that your pointer never tells you anything? You always have to dig it out of them, yeah? Okay, well, guess what? That's the painter's fault. That's not the pointer's fault. The reason is pointers are really capable of talking. And it helps if they do more than grunt, by the way. But painters frustrate pointers to death. Okay, Kathy's going to try to find something out about me, and I'll show you how I'm frustrated. She'll do it wrong like, it's pretty normal.
Isn't it exciting to be back in Michigan?
Okay, now I'm thinking about painters and pointers. She's asking me a question. It's sort of painful to shift. Okay, I put my finger, painters and pointers, exactly where I am. And since I love her, I shift and I think through Michigan. Okay, we're back here. Been here before. And I, after going through 100 different scenarios, I say, and answer a question actually precisely, yes, it is. That's a lot of work. Okay, now look what she'll do next.
Did you hear Cindy say she had burners?
I didn't think about food. Burners, yeah, we had burners. Well, yeah, I mean, I like it, but yeah, I did.
It's too hard to go to Lansing and see girls.
I didn't think of it. You see what she's doing? She's jerking me in file to file. I have to go through all the information. I give her a summarizing word, and then she ignores it. Okay, painters, stop frustrating your pointer. You're only allowed one question. After that, the only thing you can do is double click on the word. Internet, underline word. Okay. But if you want to get down to the soul of the pointer, now Kathy's going to do it right.
Are you excited to be back?
Well, I already answered. Yes, I am.
Tell me more about it.
That's easy. She used my precise word. I've already thought through all of this stuff. And so I say, I'm happy to be back in a place where we have so much emotional connection. That's all I'm going to say. Now, I don't have to say any more. I just assumed she understood me. Now what's she going to do? See? See, okay. That's easy. Tell me more about that emotion. And immediately I think about grandkids. I think about when we're in vicarage, see? And I give her 2 or 3 more things to double-click on. And if she double-clicks on those, now she's getting closer to emotion. So you have to have at least 3 or 4 double-clicks to get to the detail. And then at least 2 more double-clicks finally to get to the emotion. So if you're not getting any emotion out of your pointer, you're not double-clicking. Now, you can't pound the mouse, okay? Because my emotions are like a skittish fawn, you know, to sort of peek around the corner, because they're unprotected. See, my emotions are unprotected. If I reveal my emotions and Kathy reacts, my mood shifts. And so I have to just peek around the corner and say, well, maybe I feel this way. And if she says, what do you mean? Oh, no, I don't feel that way. No. That fawn is 100 yards away. Okay, so just, and it's so unnatural, totally unnatural to do that. Just like it's unnatural for me to say paint the picture. But this is the fastest way that I found that your relationship can change.
Might be interesting that painters, since we have everything up here, if they don't let us communicate, we keep it up here and we can build. We also kind of plan the future or know what's going to happen.
Oh, it's called flashing. Painters flash into the future.
That's because we don't like surprises.
It's their defense. It's called a sensitizing defense. They'll flash every possible scenario. And of course, me as a pointer say, well, you're overreacting. They're really not. Painters are reacting the way God has given them to react. They're flashing every possible scenario, so they're not surprised. And so if I ever learned that one, to say, hey, good, keep on flashing, rather than, you're overreacting. Or just forget it. And for me, since I have a repressing defense, I don't have to flash anything. I've never flashed in my life. No, that'd fry my brain. Rather, I can deal with things when they occur because I can detach slightly and look it over and put it in perspective, see? That's my gift.